As revealed on the West Ham Voice about 2.5 weeks ago, Josh Ajala was offered a new contract at West Ham United, and news on Friday um, stated that he'd signed that contract, a new deal to keep him at the club for another 2 years till 2028. That's good news because Ajala is an ambitious lad. He left Chelsea Academy back in 2023 to sign for West Ham because he thought that he would have a quicker path to senior team football, and West Ham United was his preferred option. There were concerns that with his ambition, we might have lost Ajala this coming summer, as he was free to speak to clubs abroad, and there appeared to be interest from clubs in both France and Germany. But Ajala has decided to remain with West Ham, and that can be only for one reason. Is it possible that his path to senior team football may come sooner rather than later? Ajala was named on the subs bench for the FA Cup game against Burton Albion back on the 14th of February. However, he didn't quite make it on the field of play, but the fact that he was selected to be on the bench speaks volumes for the player's ability. Now, look, there's every chance that Ajala will again be named on the bench in the FA Cup tie against Brentford this coming Monday night. And dependent on how the game goes, he might well stand another chance of making it actually on the pitch, making his senior debut. A number of academy players have made their breakthrough in Premier League senior teams of late, with, for example, 19-year-old Tom Adozie, the attacking winger, showing some fine form for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and 17-year-old wonder kid Rio Umoha, also showing some absolutely superb form for Liverpool in recent games. So why not Ajala at West Ham? Since arriving at the club, Ajala has been the top under-21 goal scorer for the past 2 seasons, outshining other strikers such as Callum Marshall, Josh Landers, Daniel Cummings, who we got from Celtic in the summer. In his first season at West Ham, he starred for the under-18s, scoring 19 goals, which saw the under-18s finishing runners-up in the Premier League South. And after making his England youth debut in September 2024, Ajala finished this 2024-25 season in double figures for both the under-18s and the under-21s. And he claimed the Premier League Cup Golden Boot, scoring the all-important brace in the final against Reading as the under-18s won that tournament for the first time in their history. Now, despite missing the first couple of months of this season through injury, Ajala has still managed to reach double figures across all competitions. But Ajala is a realistic and pragmatic lad about regarding his development, stating that he wants to keep scoring goals in order to stand a chance of senior team football, but he also acknowledges that perhaps a loan spell to get senior team game time, may also be on the cards to further his development. And I think the fact that he signed a 2-year extension on his contract seems to suggest that next season he could be sent out on loan, hopefully to a championship team, hopefully in a team that he'll get regular game time, and hopefully he'll start scoring regularly, because then he could come back to the West Ham the season after next, ready to be battling for a place in the starting lineup for the senior team. This season has seen a change in his position, which has not really impacted on his goal scoring output. Deployed as a winger for the under-21s, Ajala has demonstrated his versatility across the front line whilst maintaining a high goal scoring rate. His form recently has earned him the Premier League 2 Player of the Month nomination. And that versatility can be absolutely crucial to West Ham and his chances of maybe getting some senior team football. Look, we have cover for almost every position in the senior team, but we do lack one position where we don't have anyone, and a real backup for Crescencio Somerville out on the left flank. And Ajala's versatility this season seems to demonstrate that he may be capable of offering that cover, maybe in the game against Brentford on Monday night. Ajala did play in the under 21s game on Friday against Derby County, where they lost 4-2. But recent signing, Keiber Lamadrid, wasn't in the squad at all. So there's a suggestion that maybe Lamadrid might be a little bit further forward, or a little bit further ahead of Ajala in terms of starting lineup. The 22-year-old Venezuelan's already made his debut for the senior team, playing 71 minutes in the FA Cup game against Burton Albion. And he showed some decent skills in that game as well. So he may get another chance to start on Monday night. Freddie Potts is going to be back from his suspension, and I dare say he's very likely to be starting the game on Monday night as well. It wouldn't surprise me if he played in midfield to give him a little bit of match fitness back. Also, we may see either Ezra Mayers or Ollie Scarles starting on the left side. So we've got our fair share of academy players who are breaking through. Mohamedou Kante continues to be on the bench, and he'll be another contender to get some minutes in the game against Brentford. Maybe not from the start, but certainly from the bench. But going on to the game against Brentford, Nuno has got a bit of a fine balancing act with his lineup this coming Monday. As much as the FA Cup is important and we really would love to get to Wembley, Premier League safety is even more important, with West Ham hosting Man City next Saturday in the 8 p.m. kickoff. Look, we really need to maintain our form and give ourselves a chance of getting something against Man City, which won't be easy, but under the lights and with a home crowd backing the team, it's not going to be impossible. But team selection is really crucial this coming Monday, because we can ill afford any injuries or suspensions in the game against Brentford leading into the game against City the following weekend. Look, last time in the Cup, Nuno opted to make 10 changes, leaving Dinos Mavropanos as the only player in the starting lineup who captained the team and who was the only player who actually played in the 1-1 draw, the Premier League draw against Man United in the previous game. So will Nuno do the same? Will he do a wholesale change? Look, I did suggest that maybe giving some senior players a rest after the Man United game could have affected us slightly when we played Bournemouth the following week. We looked just a little bit lackluster, a little bit off form. But with the opposition this time being a Premier League team, Nuno's got to find that balance. He's got to find a starting 11 that's going to be good enough to win the game, but also not hinder us should we get injuries and suspensions when it comes to playing Man City. So this is the team I'm going for. Whether I'm right or wrong, you decide. But Alphonse Areola will undoubtedly start in goal. He now is our cup goalie. Carl Walker-Peters, I think, will replace Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. And I think it'll be probably Ollie Scarles that will get the nod to replace Diouf on the left-hand side. Now, I'm going for a defensive two of Dinos and Max Kilman. I know a lot of fans won't like it, but I think it's a chance for Todibo. Maybe this game might have come too soon. I think he went off with cramp, didn't he, in the midweek game against Fulham. So I think Todibo will probably be on the bench, but it gives an opportunity for Disasi to have a rest. He's hardly stopped since he's joined us, and he's been brilliant. In midfield, I think it's quite possible to give us a little bit of strength, a little bit of attacking prowess. I think Bowen and Somerville will start on the flanks. And like I said, I think it'll be Potts who will start, quite possibly alongside Magassa. Now, there's a chance, a small chance maybe, that maybe Potts will line up alongside Fernandes. But that would worry me. Fernandes is one of the star players of the senior team at the moment, and I'd rather him be on the bench and brought on when, if needed, than starting in this game. And then up front, I think Callum Wilson will play, and he could be partnered by Lamadrid. I sort of suggested that I think Lamadrid has got a very good chance of starting. Look, I know fans will be concerned to see the likes of Bowen in the starting lineup, Somerville, etc., because just like any other player, what if they get an injury? What happens then? So this is why Nuno's got that balancing act. But I think maybe just enough to win this game. I think he will go with Bowen and Somerville from the start. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that West Ham will win this game in normal time. I'm hoping it's not going to go into extra time because I just don't think West Ham can afford to do that. To give the players that rest in order to be ready for the game against Man City. Look, as it stands, we already know that Liverpool are through, having beaten Wolves 3-1. But what about other teams in this competition? Well, when you look at who's playing, Fulham against Southampton at home, I can honestly only see a Fulham win. Port Vale against Sunderland, I think Sunderland might just be a little bit too good for Port Vale. The interesting one, of course, is Newcastle versus Man City. And I'm going for a Newcastle win there. Leeds United against Norwich City could be a tricky one for Leeds, but I think they might just edge it. Mansfield Town, I mean, we would all love Mansfield Town to do one over on Arsenal, but I think we're all pretty much convinced that it will be Arsenal that'll win that game. Liverpool, as we know, beat Wolves. And then Wrexham against Chelsea. Now, of all the games being played over this weekend, I think Wrexham has got a very good chance of maybe beating Chelsea. So we look out for that one. And then, of course, ourselves against Brentford. Look, of these remaining 11 Premier League teams in this competition, I think we're going to see almost a clean sweep when it comes to the last 8. I think there'll be 8 Premier League teams in that, with Wrexham being the possible odd one out. If we get through, it would be absolutely no surprise if West Ham draw Liverpool, Man City, or Arsenal away. It'd be just our luck, wouldn't it? But I think maybe this time, we've got to go to any of it. Doesn't matter who we get, to be honest with you. If you want to win this competition, you're going to have to face one of the greedy 6 sooner or later. My prediction when it comes to the scoreline, I think I'm going to go for a West Ham 2-1 win in normal time. Let's hope so. Under the lights, who knows? It should be a good atmosphere, if the atmosphere is anything like any of the previous games at home, or anything like the atmosphere that we've had in away games, the Fulham atmosphere for the West Ham fans was superb. If we can replicate that, then why not a win? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed the channel, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and the hype button below. And there's a QR code that's just appeared there. If you click on that, you can become a subscriber of the channel free of charge. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you all again soon.